Hello, and welcome to another installment of my weekly series, Breaking Free, where I showcase myself working with one of my many pain coaching clients on reaching remission for CRPS. This session in particular with Karen and her husband Kenneth is probably one of the more important sessions that I've shared in a while. It touches on some topics that I think are often, actually always, overlooked when it comes to CRPS. And that is, in a big way, the emotional toll and the emotional repression that is involved with complex regional pain syndrome. Karen herself has been somewhat bedbound for a while, not moving around often due to the pain, and even in the beginning was having a hard time speaking for more than a few minutes due to the pain she was experiencing. Now she is starting to move around. She's standing up for 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time. She's going on some laps around the living room, and things are starting to improve, albeit a slow process. There are about 10 of my clients that are right now in a similar situation to Karen, and all are making slow progress as well. But slow progress is progress, and 1% better each day is still getting better. So I'm very thankful to Karen and Kenneth for being willing to share this video. Karen is in feeling very vulnerable. She is having, the normal ups and downs that you would expect from anyone dealing with this. And she has been told a lot of things about her body that I feel are misleading and untrue. One of which is blaming a lot of the pain on a specific nerve. When your body's nervous system has hundreds, if not thousands, of nerves inside of it. So we talk about that today. I demonstrate in real time the effects of repressed emotion on Karen's pain, and we talk about how we're going to overcome that. Thank you again so much to Karen and Kenneth for sharing this. If you watch this and you think pain coaching is going to be helpful to you in the way that it has been for all of these individuals, I would love for you to go ahead and book a free consult with me by visiting my website and clicking this button here, or clicking the link down in the description below to do a consultation with me also. If you didn't know, I have an 8-week online self-paced, self-guided program that you can do anytime. There's no specific sign up date or anything like that. And you can go ahead and visit this link here on my website, or you can go down to the description below also to get signed up with a $25 off coupon. Thank you to all of you who are enjoying these videos, everyone in my Facebook group, The Window Pane, and I will see you in the next one.
There we go.
There it is.
All right, let me turn this around. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Getting
Good.
the day going, and it's good.
Good.
Hey, Karen, how's it going?
Um, it's it's okay.
Yeah, what makes it okay? Talk to me about that.
Um, my body's just had a lot more tension in my pelvic area, just those muscles kind of seizing, and especially when I eat, you know, when I sleep and different things, um but I've done a, quite a good bit in my let's see, Kenneth's got my list here. I've listened to worship music, just one song at a time. I think it was like twice. And what did you say, Kenneth?
Two times.
Two
Yeah.
times?
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I talked to my friend Lori, and um, and that was good. She's just got a lot of rough stuff going on right now with her daughters, so uh, it was good. We kind of shortened it, talked for 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, something like that.
Nice.
And then I visited my friend Connie, who used to be in the same prayer group as Lori and I. And she's my mother-in-law, my daughter's mother. I mean, my
Daughter-in-law,
son's
brother.
mother-in-law. And so we've got two connections there. And it was nice, and she was really good about not overdoing trying to talk to me a lot and stuff. So we did talk, and so that was two people that I talked to. And then
Yeah.
My daughter Rachel, I've needed a haircut for a long time because I can't go, get a haircut and sit in a chair for a long time. So I was able to stand up for 15 minutes, and instead of laying down this time, I did it standing up.
Yeah.
So that was good. Um, let's see what else.
You walked around the living room and outside one time.
Well, no, I did it more than that.
Okay, you just told me about one, so that's good.
Yeah. And I did the breathing exercises, but we haven't done that for a while. Anyway, so that's kind of what my activity has been. I'm fixing to have we're gonna have our family March birthdays. We do it by the month.
Uh-huh.
So I guess you could say I'm a little not anxious about that, but it's a lot having six kids and 7 grandkids and stuff. If they're all here, it can get kind of anxious for me because I want to talk to everybody, but it's hard.
Sure. Sure.
So,
But exciting, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
just, you just wish you could get in on, you know, during their playing games, and, sometimes opening birthday gifts, the kids. And so, I miss those things, but, one day, hopefully.
well, how long does it take to open the birthday gifts?
It depends.
If you had to estimate.
I don't know. I haven't done it.
Well, if it's adults, it's 10, 15 minutes. If it's kids, if you got a couple of kids, it may take a little bit longer than that, but probably no more than 15 minutes.
So if you stood up for 15 minutes haircut, it might be possible to at least see part of the gift opening stuff. I think, of course, it's frustrating to not be able to maybe do the whole thing, but I don't necessarily think one day we can watch the gift opening. I think we could, and it might
Well,
make us feel good.
yeah, the last time I watched, let's see, February, January birthdays. I watched Katie open a few of her presents. I remember going in there and standing, so, because I like to watch when I've given a gift, but mm, I'm a little bit worried about, or this condition, this clenching, this tension, this whatever in my, I'm it seems to get worse, but I mean, I'm not imagining it. And even when I wake up, I mean, we, mm, I've been that way the whole night, and I can't. It's hard for me to do anything to get it to release. Once I do, once I'm awake, or even during the day. So I don't know where do we need to start? I don't know.
Well, first of all, let's start with the fact that, I gave you a few assignments here and you did amazing. You not only did you get them done, you went above and beyond, because standing up certainly wasn't on the assignment, right, for 15 minutes. And talking to Lori for 15 minutes, that's triple the time. Visiting with Connie, you got that. Um, you listened to two church songs. That's amazing. So I mean, you've done fantastic this last week. So I think starting with recognizing that is really good. Additionally, where do you think tension in the muscles, can have many reasons. I notice that when we broach or talk about certain subjects or think about certain things, we have more tension. So, what kind of things do you think is leading to this tension now or in the last week?
Well, I guess just because everything I do, causes pain, but and I don't, it's hard not having any relief, you know. And I used to could, you know, oh, let me go lay down and things would get better. And but that's probably not been good for my body, but I don't know what else to do to, you know. So I don't know. My thought process is, I'm sorry if I can't keep I can't, sometimes I can't remember what we started, why we started.
Okay, we were talking about this tension, where we think this tension's coming from.
Anxiety
About what?
about my pain. And I just, how am I gonna, how am I gonna get better? I don't, I listened to 15 minutes of your, Kenneth got your, Kenneth, is it level 2?
Yeah, the module 2.
little to listen to 15 minutes. And even that, oh, wait. I guess because you were talking really fast and I can't totally look at the screen all the time because that's work too. That is work. And I'm trying to understand, I don't want to be doing something that's going to make me worse, but it's like, uh,
So, you asked the question, how am I going to get better? Well, the answer is exactly what you're doing. You've been taking some small steps here. Listening to 15 minutes is pretty good. It's pretty good. That's a lot of information. It's a lot coming at you at once. Listening to that on top of everything else you did this week is pretty good. And I would say this. Of course, we know this isn't going to be like that and everything's good. I wish it was. That'd be awesome. I'd go around snapping my fingers for everybody, but you know, this is visit 4 and we're getting up, we're walking around, we're standing up, we're calling friends, we're getting excited for the birthday party. This is kind of what the path looks like. There's no quick fix. It's basically saying, I realize this isn't going to get better if I just keep doing exactly what I've been doing. So I'm going to try these options, which you are, and you're doing great. And slowly but surely, we'll get our pain down to lower levels. And then eventually, someday, there's the possibility of being out of pain. So this week, what were your best days?
well, I don't know because I can't remember what days I did what.
Can't remember on Tuesday after you talked to him after we've had our counseling. Remember you made 2 laps around in there and came back, and then Wednesday and Thursday you were I'd say your level of pain at night because we were able to talk was maybe a 5 or a 6 because we were able to talk while you ate, and you weren't in as much discomfort on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday is whenever it kind of, you know, ramped back up. So
Well, that's what you
that's what I see.
know. Yeah, but you don't know how much pain I'm in.
Right. Well, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. So I'm trying to give you a kind of starting point. So
Okay.
a reference point.
That's one thing that once he gets home and we try to eat as early as we can, but um I can barely I'm not eating as much at dinner time because I'm just worn out, and I can't. um, I can't last as long, and I can't talk to him, and that's frustrating. Is that, you have to. It feels like that you're having to push people away because, but it's not just people. It's other things too. Like, okay, that causes a lot of pain. So, I can't. Anyway,
So if something is hard or painful or challenging, how do you think that we make it easier?
I don't know.
Okay, well let's do this experiment then. I'm I'm going to live in Japan here pretty soon for a few months. I don't know Japanese that well. It's hard, it challenges me. How do I get better at Japanese?
You take classes, or
I practice.
or yeah.
And if I can't hold a conversation for more than a minute, do I resign to that I will not learn Japanese, or do I shame myself for it?
No.
Okay, so whether it's Japanese or piano or learning to skateboard, the only way that we get better at it is by practicing and you're practicing conversations already with some of your friends. That'll make longer conversations at different times of day with Kenneth easier. Okay. It's okay if we can't eat as much at dinner or we're a little more worn down at that time. That's okay. We'll practice and it'll get easier as we go. Just like listening to this church music has gotten easier. Okay. Just like we're suddenly, able to stand up for a haircut instead of sitting. This is what progress looks like.
Okay. What do you do about things that, for instance, over this whole like 3 years, or I don't know, it's been four now, I don't know. Um, because my pain is in my pelvic region, and that's where the main stuff is. Sitting on the potty has gotten more difficult as time has passed. And, you know, right now, I can only sit on there for so long. I can't, you know, I guess you could say, well, try to sit on there for, you know, 10 minutes or whatever. But I mean, what do you do about something like that? Where it just, I don't know.
Okay, what kind of modifications or things have you tried to do when it comes to sitting on the toilet?
well, I've tried all kinds of different pads and things, but because of the sensitivity,
Mhm.
everything it's just it's spread over my whole body now, and so like my sheets feel like sandpaper, so unless I'm just kind of sitting still. But so I don't know. I can just barely last, to or and I know that's a physical, like just one of the physical problems that result from this condition.
So when we're extra sensitive in certain places, we do a process called desensitization. Okay. If there's a specific area that it hurts to touch, then we practice touching it with soft items. For the toilet, you can do modifications like toilet pads are good. You can do seat risers. You can do squatty potty where you lift your legs up with that step.
That makes my particular potty, it makes it really, really painful to have my leg. But I do some of that. Just I have a little step that's about 3 inches. But and I've tried all the different pads, so I know that because I've tried, so I know the pad thing. I'm sorry. This is so.
What are you sorry about?
It just really gets old to only talk about. But I know that's the reason why you're here, is because I can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Well, where do I go from here? What do I need to do?
Well, you're right now, you're on quite the right path. I know you're sitting here every day, but I only see you once a week, and I see improvement. And what I've noticed is when I mention the improvement, instead of allowing yourself to celebrate that achievement, you mention something else that you can't do. And so I want to invite you over the next week to try to celebrate some of the things that you're accomplishing.
Hey,
You know, I think that helps a lot with our mindset through this whole thing because it's hard. I mean, I was there. I know it's hard to even find a silver lining anywhere, but I have a feeling
how many people is it, like their whole body is involved?
I'm working with 36 people right now, and I would say 15 are full body CRPS. This is certainly awful and certainly not a fun experience, but you're not the only one. And all of you are very similar, not only in presentation, but in personality, backstory, life experiences. You share uh, withheld anger, frustration, guilt. And I think that that is a big reason why you feel the pain that you do. And so not only addressing the physical things that you're mentioning, but also these emotional things that are, you know, leading to these feelings is important too. That's why I keep asking you, where does the tension come from?
It's all down here.
Why is it there?
I don't know.
I think some introspection is important. In the first visit, remember we talked about all these things in life that have been difficult for us.
But uh, I mean, it is what it is, and I, I I'm usually, I guess, seem to handle things pretty well, you know, except for, like when we were talking about, I know one of the things was having to deal with my parents alone and just all that. And I guess it just finally builds up and blows up or something, I don't, oh,
Do you see?
uh,
Do you see that? We just talked about your parents and what do you feel?
pulsing pain.
Have I done anything to your pudendal nerve? No. And so is this physical, completely physical, and there's nothing else we need to talk about, or is there something else?
It's emotional, but it's physical. I mean,
Yeah, of course you feel it.
I don't know how to do,
We always feel emotions in our mind and our body at the same time, always. When we're angry, we turn red. When we're sad, we slouch our shoulders. When we're embarrassed, our palms get sweaty, we shake. If you have a profound feeling of resentment or a profound feeling of guilt or a combination of those things, eventually, just like you said, your body says no more. I can't hold on to this. You're not meant to handle things. You're meant to feel them. So one thing I have people do usually, and I think this might be a good exercise for you this week, is I have them select one person at a time, and and I've probably mentioned this before, but we write a letter to that person, not to give to them, not for anyone to see. Maybe you burn it afterwards, but you express the feelings that you're feeling that you haven't been able to express. If we're the sole caregiver for our parents and we feel frustrated that no one else stepped up, maybe we write a letter to the people that didn't step up. And that's how we let the emotions out.
what if I can't write? Right? I mean, it's very difficult for. I mean,
So you'll do speech to text on an iPad.
speech to text.
Yep. You can set up a Zoom just like this. You can use the AI program that Kenneth uses, and you can speak and it will record what you're saying. And so you'll have it down on paper. You've been down the road of structure. You've had surgeries and blocks and medicines and stretches and all those kinds of things. You know where that road goes, and it's nowhere. So we need to go down the other road.
Yeah.
And that it's a scary one, but it's the one that helps us let go of this pain. To give you an idea, when I was diagnosed with CRPS, I had taken care of my mother. So do you think we're unique, or do you think that's the story for a lot of us?
No, especially for my age, you know, almost all of our friends are dealing with their parents, or they've already lost both of them, or, etc. So
But not all of them get CRPS.
no,
And so there's a difference. There's a feeling, a frustration or a sadness that we hang on to and try to handle outside, but inside it's causing us pain. So in writing these letters, or voice to texting them, it's how we let go of it. No more handling.
but but in some, I would say, I've forgiven them, but you're saying, I mean, even when something is in the not too long past, you know, but I guess it's kind of still going on a little bit, but it's because she's lives far away, My sister, she's always lived far away.
Yeah, I mean, it might be rational that her involvement was the way it was, but feelings are feelings. They're not always rational. And so,
Yeah,
you might say, you've forgiven, but your body and your reaction to these topics tells me otherwise. It's
yeah.
almost as if, I confront somebody for theft and they say, no, it wasn't me, but at the same time they're just like shaking and trembling. Who do you think they actually stole it?
Oh, yeah.
Body language.
I'm getting incredibly hot. My body just that's another no, that's another not a side effect. What do you
Symptom.
symptom?
So do you have you seen Inside Out?
Um, Not for a long time. It's a little is it Disney or one of those in the feelings?
Yep.
It's been a long time.
So let me ask Kenneth, did you adjust the temperature in the house while we've been talking?
No,
Okay. And what is CRPS characterized by, Karen? Like what images do people normally use when they illustrate CRPS?
Uh, I'm not that knowledgeable about that.
What color is CRPS? What's their color?
Red, blue, I don't know.
Orange.
Is it orange?
It's orange, yeah. They have Color the World Orange is like their event, and the documentaries are called Trial by Fire. They often describe it as burning. Okay, so
Oh,
so you understand that, right?
yeah,
And you're feeling at this moment while we talk about these topics, you're starting to feel hot, right?
yeah.
Okay. And we're talking about your sister, we're talking about the situation with your parents. Um, in Inside Out 2, do you remember what the emotions looked like? Do you remember any of them? What they looked like?
It's been so long. Um, there was a girl, there was a guy, the anger one, um,
Have you figured out where I'm going with this? So I'll show you. I'll make it easy. So here is the original emotions, from the early movie, right?
oh yeah,
We've got sadness, joy, anger. But, I want to show you what anger looks like depicted.
oh yeah,
Does he look a little hot?
yeah,
He's orange. He's got fire. I personally believe that the selection of this imagery and the description of the feeling of CRPS has a lot to do with anger.
yeah,
And I think that your body is telling you that there's some anger there still, even if you feel you've forgiven her, that's okay. But I think we need to, find a way, probably via letter, to let this out.
okay.
Think you can do it?
If it's just phrases, just
That's
short.
fine. I even have people where the first week that they try this, they just write, "Dear Dad" or "Dear Brother." Sometimes they can't even write more than just the D and dear for the first week. That's okay. Remember, it's 1%. I think this week we continue on the same path that you're on. I want you to try and, for let's say 10 minutes, watch some present gift opening, enjoy that moment, and then continue your exercises. If you want to do the breaths and you want to do it, try to do it in standing. That might be interesting. Um, but otherwise, I think the letter should be our main assignment this week.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Okay. I want you to, that whiteboard that you and Kenneth are using to keep track of the stuff you're doing. I want you to look at that frequently because what I see in the time that we've been working together is I see you improving. And I think you need to remind yourself of that these are things are improving. Yes, do we have times where we have a little bit of a flare of pain? Yes. That's part of it though. That happened to me too. I had flares and ups and downs on the journey too.
I guess mine just feel like not like a little flare up. It's just one continual.
Well,
But oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
you know, what I mean by a flare isn't that when it stops, the pain is gone. I mean that the pain increases and then decreases again.
Okay.
Okay, so a flare is a increase from baseline. If baseline is a what we're rating at a 6, and then a flare means a 10 or an 11, coming back down to a 6 is the flare ending because that's your baseline right now. But eventually your baseline will be 2, 1, 0. It just takes time.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got continue what you've been doing. 10 minutes of watching present opening because that's going to be enjoyable. Uh, more church songs as you've been. Those are always good for you. Um, Continue your living room laps as tolerable, and then the letter. Just starting it, even just one sentence is cool.
Okay.
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 I
I,
think that,
I
what's that?
do I do listen to a pastor on Sunday too, usually. Just
It's good.
anyway. Okay. So just okay. Hopefully Kenneth wrote he was back there writing down.
I
Yeah,
always send you a summary, don't worry.
yeah, he does.
Okay.
So you'll have everything right there for you. And you're doing great, okay? We're gonna keep going. We'll stay the course. Um, let the light in. So when when you have a win, celebrate. You and Kenneth celebrate these wins. You got quite the teammate right there with you, so
I know
it's good.
the best.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy. And I think that's gonna serve you as we move forward.
Okay.
So one question for you. We've had some hard topics in here, of course. And I can, you know, only display, you know, your name Karen, right? Um, but I think this might help others who are in similar situation you are. Would you be open to me putting this on my YouTube? No pressure.
I don't I guess. I mean,
Might help others.
What's that?
I told her it might help others because, the ones that I've seen that you've done, people talking, it helps encourage others. So I was just telling her it might encourage others.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I'd love to show some of my other clients, the thoughts and feelings you're having, because us CRPS folks, we're all pretty similar. We're bleeding heart types. A heart's too big for this world, right? And
yeah.
I think it's nice to see that we're not alone, especially my other clients who are, spending a lot of time in on the couch or in bed. Seeing another person who's working through it with them, I think will help.
Okay.
You rock.
Huh.
Well, I will send you the summary. I think you're doing fantastic. So let's continue on. Celebrate your wins, and I'll be excited to see the progress we make next week, both physically and emotionally here.
Do you think we should be doing some of that
Sensitization.
sensitization stuff?
Yeah, so if you haven't already seen my video on it, I'll send you a link to it. And it kind of gives you a guide on how to do it. And you can give that a try. Kenneth can help with that. And
Yeah, we've done it in my physical therapy, the first
Yeah.
first set of physical therapy that she taught us how to do it on my hips,
yeah.
The glutes.
my
So
glute.
I want you to watch the video that I made because
Oh,
some people teach it not quite the same way that I do.
okay.
And I think you'll find some insight or some techniques that might be a bit different and maybe easier to approach.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll send you a link to that video in the summary also.
Okay.
All right. You're doing it, Karen. This is what the journey looks like. And it's not a quick fix. It's not the most fun. But it at least has hope. And that's the big thing.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. Reach out with any questions, you or Kenneth. And I'm here walking this path with you, okay?
All right.
All
Thank
right, guys.
you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. All right. See you. I will see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.